In the world of One Punch Man, it is definitely hard to ignore one of the mightiest beings that Saitama had ever faced, that being Boros, a space conqueror that was set out on finding a worthy being to challenge his power, and who was mighty enough to destroy our planet's surface, and perhaps even beyond that. So, to respect Boros' power, and in anticipation for Season 3 of the One Punch Man anime, I thought it would be a good idea to have him face off against one of the strongest beings in the Invincible verse, that being Battle Beast, a space feline with a warrior nature that decimated Invincible and his team within the first season of the show. In the comics, however, Battle Beast developed a grander role when it came to the future arcs of Invincible, which I will get further into in this video. Due to both characters sharing the warrior mentality and hobby of conquering planets, I thought it would be cool to see which one of these two mighty planetary dominators would come out on top if they were to meet up with each other. Real quick, I'd like to give a huge thanks to Bespoke Post for sponsoring this video. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering awesome boxes of top shelf goods from under the radar brands. It is free to join, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime, hassle-free. Every month, Bespoke Post introduces its members to cool new products, outdoor gear, barware, home and kitchen goods, clothing, and more, even live oysters, which is based on a preference quiz they fill out. Every box has around $70 worth of goods inside, but costs you only a fraction of the value. Additionally, you can preview your box before it is shipped, and you can decide if you want to keep it, swap it for a different box, or skip the month entirely for no charge, as you only pay for what you want. Two of the boxes I got a hold of was the Weekender, which comes with a beautiful travel bag that comes in multiple different colors, which is perfect for those looking to go on vacation in style, which I will certainly use in the coming future. And for those drink connoisseurs, another box you may enjoy is Dram, which comes with ice bowl molds, two beautiful glasses, a field guide to whiskey, and a syrup to mix it up with whiskey or whatever you feel would go right with it. After a long day of editing, I like to kick back with a cooling drink, and I'm sure you would too. So, what are you waiting for? To get 20% off your first box, click the link in the description below and enter Chuck20 at checkout, or go to bespokepost.com/Chuck20. Thanks, now let's get right back into the video. First off, Battle Beast, aka Thok, had such a genuinely terrifying reputation that he would make entire civilizations tremble in fear, as he had conquered countless planets to the point that he was regarded as the scourge of the twin galaxies, a being who was gifted in many forms of martial arts and armed combat. After being liberated by Alan the Alien and Omni-Man from a Viltrumite prison, which we will likely see in Season 2 or Season 3, Battle Beast would later help the heroes in fending off the Viltrumite Empire, who wanted Omni-Man to take over the Earth in the first place. During the Viltrumite War, Invincible was powerful enough to fend off one of the strongest Viltrumites such as Conquest, a Viltrumite veteran who should easily scale to or above beings such as Thoth, who could life-wipe planets over time in his battles with his brother, which is in the tie-ins. Plus, a being who will likely appear in the second season is a dude named Omnipotus, an Eater of Worlds who has done similar feats in the past and could arguably even be a solar system to Reality Destroyer going by the guidebooks at his highest ends. Which is important because Dinosaurus, a red dinosaur man who was comparable to a pre-timeskip Mark at the time, was able to one-shot a stronger Omnipotus than the one that already managed to solo most of the Earth's heroes, including low Viltrumite tiers like the Immortal and Brit. Brit, by the way, having enough life energy to shock Set's brother, Thoth, even though he was already used to withstanding enough energy levels to lay waste to entire planets in his battles. Plus, Planet Eaters are regarded as fodder to beings such as Null, a bounty hunter that easily one-shotted the Giant. This is very important because one of Mark's allies, Tech Jacket, aka Invincible Universe's Iron Man, was able to somewhat contend with Null, yet was ultimately overwhelmed by him and a Viltrumite named Anissa during the Viltrumite War. Meaning that we have continental to planetary scaling for these characters already. Now, yeah, Mark and several other people were needed to destroy the planet Viltrum, a planet with 1.25 times the gravity of Earth, but it is worthy to keep in mind that Mark and the others had been fighting the Viltrumites before this point, so they clearly weren't at full power. And Mark at this point still had numerous more power boosts at his disposal that he would get over time. In other words, Mark wasn't even close to his peak in power and they still managed to destroy a planet. I generally believe it consistent for high-tier Viltrumite beings to be multi-continental to planetary levels, but if you want to be on the conservative side, you could say continental. But the point is, Viltrumite tier beings have showcased continental to planetary levels of power, and this is very important because Battle Beast fought not 1 or 2 or 3, but over 5 Viltrumites at the same time, and basically found it to be boring and demanded more fighters to oppose him. So just imagine, you're fighting 5 beings that could literally destroy North America. Regarding the Viltrumites, they are extremely durable due to their smart atoms, which is revealed to us in the guidebooks. These smart atoms act like normal atoms, but are able to retain their structure even under savage physical battles and extremely high or low temperatures. For instance, a pre-Viltrumite war Mark was able to withstand a solar flare-inducing nuclear missile unscathed, and later on was able to fight another Viltrumite on the surface of the sun for a good period of time, thanks to this amazing adaptation. Battle Beast, despite not having smart atoms, was outright durable enough to withstand blows from Viltrumites and essentially survived unscathed during the Viltrumite War. So just imagine how overpowered he would be if he had smart atoms. Additionally, Battle Beast fought Thrag, the strongest Viltrumite at the time, who was so mighty powerful that it took several Viltrumites to restrain him, and who also managed to obliterate Omni-Man and Mark at the same time. Oh yeah, and Thrag would later rip apart a stronger Mark after the 5-year time skip like nothing, and contend with an Adam Eve empowered Mark at the end of the series. Before the battle began, a pack of Ragnars or Ragnar, hyper-lethal space predators which are Viltrumite tier, were deployed onto the battlefield to kill Thrag. So Battle Beast, as to not soil his honor, decided to help Thrag fight off the pack, which was akin to both of them fighting multiple Viltrumites at the same time. Along the way, Thrag suffers heavy wounds, so to make the battle fair, Battle Beast decides to hurt himself on purpose to even the odds. Really crazy, am I right? This was because Battle Beast wanted to make the fight even, and as to not accept any advantage in the fight with the mightiest Viltrumite. Battle Beast had a mighty battle with Thrag, and they managed to trade blows for entire days, even while their intestines were flopping out. And yeah, Battle Beast they lose in the end, but it is worthy to mention that he nearly stalemated Thrag, and I think it is very likely that he could have won because not only did he hurt himself, but he decided to fight without his weaponry, so he was clearly not fighting at full capacity in this battle. Regardless, Battle Beast should easily scale to Thrag and is clearly several times above typical Viltrumites, including Omni-Man and pre-time skip Mark, making him comfortably planetary. But if you really want to lowball, you could argue multi-continental / life wiper level. In speed, he should easily be at least relativistic / near light speeds, because Omni-Man could fly at those speeds as confirmed in the guidebooks, and he can be argued even higher because when he left the Earth at the end of Season 1, he eventually reaches the Mantis Race planet in a week, which is located in the Virgo supercluster galaxy, which is 65 million light years away from the Earth. Meaning that Omni-Man flew at billions of times the speed of light to perform this feat. But it could also be argued that they could only obtain those speeds through time dilation due to the relativistic space warps, which is an argument that I've heard when scaling the speeds of these characters. Regardless, they are comfortably near light speed to being several times the speed of light, so Battle Beast should be comfortably in that tier if he's not only able to react to multiple Viltrumites, but hit and block their attacks as well. Now yeah, the Omni-Man feat is a travel speed one, but they should be able to fight at comparable speeds anyways, because Alan the Alien, who was speed blitzed by random Viltrumites at one point, was confirmed in the guidebooks as being able to have reflexes comparable to his flight speed. Alan the Alien is a brilliant example for speed scaling because his job was to reach planets and travel across solar systems and galaxies on the regular. If he was any slower than the speed of light, it would have taken him way too long to reach Mark and the others. If that wasn't enough, ships that can travel galactic distances in mere days were outright slower than Mark's flight speed when he was desperate to reach Earth once he thought Thrag had invaded it already. Meaning that Mark was clearly faster than the massively faster than light spaceship and would scale from Alan's reaction time as well. In this case, Battle Beast should be on a similar or higher level. Now onto the space-conquering emperor of the universe known as Boros. How strong and fast is he? For one, Boros says to Saitama that he has the greatest healing, physical strength, and potential energy of his species, and that his kind were the greatest healers in the universe, which is well evident due to Boros' advanced regeneration that allowed him to recompose himself after being hit by Saitama's flurry of consecutive normal punches. And although Saitama wasn't serious at the time, Boros even managed to clash with him momentarily, even with one arm. Additionally, Boros was regarded as a god-level threat in the One Punch Man universe, which means that he was a being who brought forth the possible extinction of mankind on a global scale, since with his collapsing star roaring cannon, his ultimate attack, he threatened to wipe away the entire planet's surface along with Saitama in the manga. However, I've heard it being argued that his attack description can also be interpreted as him being able to wipe away the entire planet or even stars in the anime. So he can be argued a multi-continental to planet buster at least. Star is an extreme highball if you really want to go there. But then again, we also have higher scaling for Battle Beast as I mentioned with Dinosaurus. In the battle with Saitama, Boros got multiple hits in and managed to sorta clobber Saitama around a little bit, which is further backed up by the Compass One Punch Man guidebook. Now, I'm not saying that Saitama was seriously getting beat up by Boros, but it is worthy to mention that he was pretty much one of the strongest beings Saitama had ever faced at the time, and implied that he needed a serious punch to knock away his ultimate attack, which is said by the compass as being able to wipe away entire planets. Boros should easily be able to reach relativistic to faster than light speeds, given as to how he was pretty much able to powerfully kick Saitama all the way to the moon in a few seconds. Which is impressive, given that the moon on average is over 384,000 kilometers away. Either way, he should easily be near light speed at least. It's noteworthy to mention that Boros has multiple forms, his unsealed state which managed to somewhat give Saitama scorch marks, and his meteoric burst, a state that goes beyond one's normal limits and allowed Boros to outright speedblitz Saitama at one point. Unfortunately, this form comes with a major drawback on his body and cannot be used for long periods of time, which means that Boros' stamina is not as great as Battle Beast's, but makes up for it in the regeneration department. So, both fighters are easily in the multi-continental to planetary ranges of offensive power and have similar levels of martial arts knowledge and experience. Now, who would come out on top? Personally, I think it would be a very interesting battle because Boros' advantages are his insane energy blast and flight, which gives him further range and versatility, his regeneration, which would allow him to dish out multiple attacks, and his impressive burst of speed that would catch the feline off guard at some point in the battle. Battle Beast, on the other hand, has superior raw power and strength due to him being able to shake off 5 Viltrumites with physical blows. However, his reach is limited due to lacking energy attacks and due to the fact that he cannot fly, which will make it harder for the Space Warrior to reach the highly evolved Emperor. Although Boros would have the range advantage with his energy attacks, it would probably take a decent amount of energy to seriously injure Battle Beast, and even if he did, Battle Beast has tremendous stamina that would allow him to fight in peak or near peak condition for entire days if he needed to, like we saw with the Thrag battle. Now, Battle Beast has no real counter to the energy attacks, but we have seen Thrag dodge and counter Space Racer's energy blast. So if Battle Beast could keep up with that speed, it isn't far-fetched to say that he could dodge the attack or at least minimize its range of effect. Then again, Battle Beast has no real response to Boros' regeneration other than to slash the f*** out of him, which you could certainly do for long periods of time. Which would bring to question as to how long Boros' regeneration can last against Battle Beast's slashing. I'd say that Boros' real winning shot in this battle is to spam Battle Beast with his energy attacks and keep a huge distance between both of them, and to only use his meteoric burst as an absolute last resort and try to finish off Battle Beast with his collapsing star roaring cannon in one go. But I would bet that Battle Beast would survive it with a good degree of damage. On the other hand, all Battle Beast has to do is keep up with Boros, which he should be able to do, dodge his energy attacks, and try to slash him enough so that his regeneration somewhat exhausts itself, which is very probable. I'd also argue that Battle Beast has a slight combat speed advantage at worst, but with far less maneuverability. Now, yeah, Battle Beast can be scaled to being billions of times faster than light if you want to go off of Omni-Man's feet, but I thought the battle would be more interesting if both characters were able to keep up with each other. Otherwise, Battle Beast would speed blitz basically. I do think that ultimately, Battle Beast would win with a good degree of difficulty because of his stamina and greater experience, since it is stated in the handbook that it is likely true that he had conquered thousands of planets. However, I do think that Boros has a decent chance if he manages to keep his distance and be really smart about how he uses his energy. And in versus battles, we tend to keep narrative out of it, but if we were to go with how Battle Beast acted in the Thrag fight, I can see it being possible for him to throw the match basically, and to like either not use his weapons or take off his armor or something to give, Boros some sort of leeway. So he could always throw the battle, but I think generally Battle Beast has this in the bag. Anyways, what do you guys think? Who do you believe truly wins? I hope that you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to the channel if you want to see future comics and anime content. Thanks, and I'll catch you thotties next time. Peace out.